All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Omar. Welcome to the third rail with Free the Left Activist. Is that what the name of the channel now is? I'm glad you picked. What is it called?
Leftist action, leftist labor, labor action, whatever you want to call it.
No, I
Just
wanted.
anything to distinguish me.
Yeah, I want people to get there because I told you that was just a generic name. I just put free. There's a million
Yeah.
other free people around. Anyway, welcome back. He's been on Haiti, that's what I say in English, for 11 days or 10 days. He left me. It's okay. I don't mind. He had to do a lot of stuff. I'm glad you're back. How you doing, Free? How you feeling, my brother?
I'm pretty great. I've been feeling really good the past couple of days. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from, but it just happened.
Maybe it's the weather.
It might be the weather.
Yeah.
I think I'll feel a bit better when we start daylight savings time today. And obviously, I gotta go to bed earlier, but I think I'll feel a little bit better. But yeah, like the past couple of days, it's been really coursing through me. I don't know what it is.
I'm glad that you're okay. I was gonna tell you what is guy Stream Elements. What's that? Shows a podcast a week. Huh? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, so I don't like the daylight changing thing. I know it's gonna sound weird, right? I'm gonna tell you when I was in business, right, and I used to see the traffic of the customer around 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Once they change, it will be different. It's like when they change the time, then it's like the customers, they have to re-get their habits on. You understand?
Yeah.
I swear to God, I used to say that my business will slow down. What is it? The light is better. The more light, it was better than darkness. I forgot
Yeah.
it a while back. Anyway, anyway, I mean, we live in a big country, so it's okay. Anyway, I'm doing good. I did a couple of videos these days. Me and hitting hard. What's his name? Destiny, the fucking cockhole. I didn't know he's a cockhole. What a piece of shit, man! It's unbelievable, and all that stuff. Anyway, you ready? What you got? What's going on?
I don't know what crusade he's going on these days. He
Disgusting.
fell off a while ago. Like,
Yeah, and he's
okay.
and he's attacking Muslims and Islam, the prophet of the Muslims, and all that. I'm like, I said, what are you doing, man? I think you're playing with fire. You know how many crazy people out there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Religious zealous. That's things you don't do. You don't talk about other people's religions a lot or disrespect their religion because people are crazy. They want to go to heaven any way they can, and I don't know if there is. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I wrote that. I say, listen, I think you should quit while you're ahead. I don't know if you took that as a threat because there's a lot of crazy people out there. But I guess it's up to him. And I had a response to Hunter. Hunter Avalon.
Yeah.
He called the prophet of Islam a pedophile because he married Aisha when she was 9 years old. And I went in the 1890 in 30 states in the United States, the age of marriage was 30 years old. In 1871, the state of Delaware get 7. Fucking, that's like a.
We actually have a story about that.
I saw the back.
I think it was like some red state,
Yeah, they were going
upheld
back.
child
I
marriage.
saw they were going backward. Let's start the show because we don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
you want to talk about daylight savings or
Whatever you
the
want.
stories we have?
Whatever you like. Let's start.
Okay, yeah. So just a quick comment here about daylight savings time. Look, it's just I think this whole clock reset thing. Oh, we gain an hour, we lose an hour. It's just like you going to bed an hour and you losing an hour of productivity. Like a part of me thinks they should just pick one system and go with it.
Yeah.
And if they do, I'll just resolve to get up earlier in the day so I have more hours of daylight.
Well, okay, I agree with you, Free. Me too. I think it's ignorant, really, because we live in a different time. Night is almost day, and day is almost night. We live in big cities, especially me and you. I don't know if you live in a city in Florida, but I live in New York City. There's more lights. It's light at night more than it's light in you can't even see a star in the sky because there's so much light. Are we stupid? We cannot, know if it's too dark early in the morning. Then you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, the whole idea behind the system was that okay, because in the spring, the sun comes up earlier in the day and goes down later. So okay, we actually have more sunlight during this time of year, depending on which hemisphere you're in, and the idea was that they'd have even more daylight to go by if they just got up an hour earlier. So okay, Like, the world doesn't just like stop for 1 hour and then spin back again. No, we're just resetting our clocks and then physically getting up an hour earlier. So this can happen on any day of the year in any season. You just got to wake up at an earlier time, which is it's what I'm trying to do. I've kept on failing over and over again because I just hit the snooze button or just fail to set an alarm altogether during the days I'm off. But
I've been retired 10 years. I don't got to work with nobody. I'm good. I did good. I got sick. I wish if I was healthy, I would be working. I'm going to be honest with you. But remember I told you in business, I needed the clock. I had to get up a certain time of hours. I told you how effective that daytime and everything. But I could understand what you were saying. But it didn't really matter to me. If I had to get up at 6 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock. I didn't care if it was dark or it was sunny or it was shiny or anything, and that nature. But thank God I retired, forcibly retired. I live good. I told you, man, I was very successful in business, thank God. And I saved, and I'm glad. I don't want to talk about me a lot, but I don't have no mortgage, right? I'm the fucking smartest.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to work for a bank 30 years. I don't want to go into that. That's the silliest shit I've heard. You get to 35 years old in America, then you buy a house, then you got to pay for 30 years. You fucking be 65. Then they come, you want to reverse the mortgage, they come and take your house with half the price. It's like a fucking gimmick here, man. You can't live like that. I'm not going to work for a bank for 30 years. I'd rather live in a hut. Anyway, go ahead, man. I don't know why I just what a segue.
I mean, we can talk about it. These are issues of the day.
Don't you think that's weird? I mean, I don't understand in the United States how people could call it, the American dream. I want to dream. What are you buying? Because first of all, it takes you a long time to mature. 25, 30 years old, you start to mature. You go to school. If you go to college, you have all this debt. Let's say you buy a house at 35 or 40, right? You got to. By the time you finish, you're 70 years old. So the house was never yours, really, in the first place. You're just paying the bank rent. Then you end up, unless you give it to your kids.
Yeah, and people are retiring later. So
in case you give it to your kid, then you have some guy like Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck used to be a Magnum, he has big movie star.
Yeah.
Telling you about reverse. I said, what the fuck is this reverse thing? Reverse mortgage. The whole thing is they're gonna give you half the price what your house is worth, and they're gonna bet that you're gonna die in 10 or 5 years, and they get the house free. So I just don't understand that, man. I've been overseas, and my country is a poor country, but people build their own houses there. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no mortgages. I think this country it's built. The United States is built on usury. Usury like interest, like real estate. Remember when the real estate market collapsed, the whole economy collapsed.
Yeah, debt. So, like, okay, using borrowed money to pay for something now, so you can just accumulate the price of that over a given period. Generally, I mean, this happens with credit, mortgages, car payments, student loan payments. Or just, and obviously people don't typically take out loans nowadays, aside from credit. It's entirely a credit economy. But this also happens with loans too. Obviously, it's a bit rare nowadays, but loans, because everything's like borrowing money now to pay for it in the future.
Everybody owes somebody. Even the country owes somebody. Everybody's owing money to everybody. I go to the supermarket sometimes. I see a guy with a gallon of milk and he's paying with a credit card. I'm like, this is a while back when I don't use cash no more. I'll do the same thing, but I said, why are you buying a fucking gallon of milk with a credit card? I mean, for $3 a day, get the fuck out. You don't need a bill at the end of the month, and pay interest on the. So the whole idea is that we live in an economy everybody owes somebody money. It's like a Ponzi scheme. One day it's going to collapse. I'm saying one day it's gonna collapse. You're gonna see. I was reading during the pandemic, there was 7 million Americans behind on their car payments. They're behind. Imagine.
Yeah. It's like at the beginning of every decade or at the end of every decade, there's another recession. So some are worse than others. But every now and then there's a 2008, a 2020, a 1920.
Yeah. But did you understand what I'm saying about the housing market? How could this be fair? Let's say it takes you to
capitalism. I mean, neoliberalism. 25
years old. I matured at 30, and I started, working at 16 with my father. Because when you're living in an immigrant community, we have the same. I don't want to put my full American. We have a different work ethic. You understand? So when I was 15, 16, my father would take me to the store. He used to own a small candy store in Brighton Beach, New York, for 40 years. And he'd take me there, on the weekend and after school. So I had that business mentality, and I went to college and all that. But I never got a small degree, associate degree in political science. I threw it in the garbage because I was never going to use it. So, but I had that work ethic. I opened my first business at probably 21 or 22.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, I got that fever, and I started opening these businesses, and sometimes you get lucky, you meet certain people that improve your life, like businessmen of different, different nationalities. They give you an ideas, and I grew. I had a lot of business. I had like 13 businesses one time, 13 store business. I don't want to say that all the time. This was a long time ago, so somebody comes in and kill me. But what I'm saying is that so I'm thinking about this. People in the United States, it's such they're cheating the low income people, maybe 80% of the people, with fucking dumb ideas like you buy a car, you fucking pay for 5, 6, 7 years. You buy a house 30 years. How could you pay for 30 years? I mean, if you bought a house for 250,000 and you owe 100,000, you'll probably pay $200,000-$300,000 for the house.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, I mean, either way.
Yeah, my daughter just bought a house, and we saw the person. He bought it in 1999. He bought it for 125. It's cheap, right? You understand?
Yeah,
it's now
for a house. That's almost really little.
It's outside New York. It's like in the sub. Not even the suburb, upstate New York. So we saw that. It's a nice old house, like 100 years old, because most of the houses are old. Because that's where the city used to be before. Like all that stuff. So we saw the record, and then he sold it for 2-something, 58. He made money to her, but he still owed interest, 58,000 20 years later. 23 years later, he still owes money. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? The guy, he's shaking. He's like 60, 67. He probably bought it later in his life. His wife, they were wonderful people. I met them, and they're very old. I'm like, well, this is not. There's something wrong with our capitalist society here. We are like, you remember when they had that serf economy, like in Europe, when they had the serfdom, like with people. We are the serfs of this
feudalism.
Yeah, when they used to work on people's land, the landlords and whatever it is. This is where we are right now.
Yeah. It's just packaged in a brand new form. You get a few more civil liberties. I mean, some states you can smoke weed. You can have sex with a guy, or religion is less of a thing in your life.
Yeah.
That matters little to them. And by them, I don't mean any ethno-religious group. I just mean the capitalists. Okay, plain and simple.
Yeah.
To them, a few more civil liberties and religion being much less of a thing in people's lives, that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they've still got you shackled with that ball and chain to that debt. Okay, because if you're paying a landlord, you got first and last month's in security. Every time you renew the interest, and you're paying rent every month. And when you buy a house, even if you live in it for the rest of your life, you've got the down payment, then you've got that mortgage payment every month, and it's not going to end because they don't want to make housing cheap.
It is not free. I used to have a business in the Bronx under a big building. There was like about 86 apartments, and I used to have. There was so much business going on. Every Friday, the marshal would come and kick out a family. Every Friday, 2-3 families. They don't pay, and they used to come on Friday.
Bro, was Trump your landlord? Was Trump your landlord?
They used to come on Friday, so there's no courts on the weekend. So it takes them like 2 days to be homeless. I don't know, by Monday, or they can't. And I used to. I bought a big van, a moving van, because I used to. They used to have to go, and I used to carry their stuff. And I started making money. It's economic. But what I saw, how these people are living, like every Friday, we waiting for that marshal. I'm waiting who's gonna get kicked out that week. You understand? And I'm talking about right a while back. So the whole idea is, I take pleasure in something that I read. It's weird. It started evil, like I always talk about the Bacon Rebellion of 1656. A guy named Bacon something, I forgot his last name. He wanted the Indian land, and the elites in Jamestown said, "No, you can't have the Indian land." It was weird. Then what he did is he got all the indentured whites, the slave whites for 7 years. Remember, they used to have these indentured servants, and the poor blacks and the slave blacks, and he got all these, and they attacked Jamestown and burned it to the ground. That's why. Remember, we just said 2 minutes ago, oh, we have certain liberties. They gave it to them because they're afraid. So they said, we're going to give these idiots something to free up, to smoke weed, to practice their religion, say something stupid in a newspaper or online, but we still own them.
Yeah.
We still own these people, and you are owned. You don't have, if you don't have, many people in the United States don't have access to capital or equity. They are living on poverty. Especially, I think the most dangerous, I know you're going to sound weird, the most dangerous person in the United States is the poor white person, because he'll go vote his fucking color every time. What I mean by that, let me get it straight so people will not start dumb. He will go and vote for some critical race theory, whatever the fuck it is, or drag queens, but never go vote for his economic interests. He has more in common with a poor guy, a black man, Hispanic in New York City, than he has in common with the elite whites, the few 10% who are elites, economic elites, and social elites, and what do you call that shit? And political elites.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 10%. So the rest of white America is poor as fuck. They don't have no access to good health care. They have no access to infrastructure. They have no access to real education. And now we're going to get that later on. Now they want to turn back the clock. They say they want to bring kids to work and all that stuff. This is what I'm saying. So
among other things, like child marriage,
yeah, we're gonna get to that. I saw it in your headline. That's what I thought you were gonna do. But what I'm saying is that before we finish this segment, I think, especially the United States, I love the United States. I love, like you say, the freedom of speech, the freedom, the opportunity. It's given me many opportunities. But when you look at the people, when you have 40% of Americans don't have $500 in the bank account or $1,000, that is fucking nuts. The richest country in the world. These people cannot afford an accident. Imagine if their car breaks down, they can't afford to fix it. Or God forbid something happened, they don't have no money. You understand? They have to fall on the social net that we Democrats give. You understand?
Yeah.
Close the door.
And they're voting for the people who will cut that.
Huh?
They're voting for the people who will cut their social safety net.
Remember, replace and repeal and replace Obamacare. They're all on Obamacare. Those idiots in those fucking in those what do you call those rallies? They're all poor. They're all the Affordable Act. They don't even know they're on it. That's how I tell you how ignorant they are of their surrounding, and they're being hoodwinked. Or I don't know what the word is. Anyway, let's go to the next segment. What you got?
Yeah, Obamacare was a Republican idea, but the GOP has gone so far to the right, to the point where they're willing to usurp their own compromise plan just to be dicks, just to be cruel. Like the cruelty. I mean, I'm in Vosh's community a lot, and he said it best. The cruelty is the point. Okay.
Vosh is very intelligent. I don't watch him as much. I don't have that patience no more, but he does make sense, and he's very intelligent. And I like the way he talks, slow and very direct. Anyway, it is about cruelty, economic cruelty. They just people just fall through the cracks. You have 70,000 people homeless in the richest state in the world, in the United States. California has $100 billion surplus, $100 surplus, and they have 70,000 people living in Skid Row in the street. I don't know. Can't you take $2 billion and help these people? Build them some fucking huts in the desert?
Yeah.
I don't understand what that means. Anyway, what's up? What you got?
So first off, Republicans ain't doing too great. So, this is a TYT video, and I had to just get this video because obviously, like, I can't compile. It would take too long to compile, like, them speaking on the floor and headlines, legislation. TYT's content is pretty entertaining, so let's just do this.
West Virginia.
Oh, I saw that. Go ahead.
Are simultaneously calling
and we'll talk about it and go
teachers, groomers, and voting down legislation that would prevent child marriage in their state. Currently, children can marry as young as 16 in West Virginia with parental consent. Anyone younger than that must also get a judge's waiver, and then you can get married earlier. The bill's main sponsor, Democratic Del Kayla Young of Kanawha County, has said that since 2000 there have been more than 3,600.
Okay. We'll put it on 1.25.
Yeah. Marriages in the state involving one or more children. Again, to be clear, that means you can get married in West Virginia, even if you are younger than 16 years old, as long as a judge is cool with it. The bill would establish that 18 is the age of consent and remove the ability of a minor to obtain consent through their parents, legal guardians, or by court petition. Existing legal marriages, including those done in other states, would be unaffected. But that wasn't acceptable to the Republicans who dominate the state Senate, was it? Of course not. The Senate Judiciary Committee rejected the bill without debate on an 8-9 vote, a week after it passed the House of Delegates, meaning children in West Virginia can still get married. Yeah. Wild. By the same 8-9 margin, members of the committee voted to remove a clause from a strike and insert amendment to a separate bill that would have closed a loophole in West Virginia law that currently makes many instances of spousal rape.
Full volume or
full picture?
Yeah. We can, okay. So I really want our audience to just let this sink in, okay?
Yeah.
Because
break it down, Free.
Yeah. So at the same time, the Democrats are proposing to, raise the minimum age for marriage, and close this whole parental consent loophole thing. Yeah. Republicans on this committee are at the same time voting against closing a loophole that currently makes spousal rape legal in West Virginia. I should say grape, grape with the G, but without the G. You know what I'm saying? But it's skirt around TOS. But what it could mean, and by this I mean them voting against the Democratic proposal specifically, is that if the circumstances align to where you, a man, however oldly aged, and your underaged spouse, so hypothetically, a 90-year-old man could get married to a 16-year-old without parental consent.
Oh, Lord.
Because of course, yeah. So a 90-year-old man, married to a 16-year-old, and if your circumstances are extremely lucky, there could be a case you'd win in which you could legally rape your spouse. Rape you a 90-year-old man could rape your 16-year-old spouse.
Yeah, legally.
That ain't good.
Yeah.
That ain't good. And, at the same time, they're calling the drag queens groomers, the trans people groomers, because they're flying rainbow flags and letting kids know gay people exist and it's okay to be gay. Like, what? But TYT's going to get to that. This video does have a very satisfying conclusion. Okay.
Yeah. They voted against making spousal rape illegal. To make that very clear. Some of the bill's opponents have argued that teenage marriages are part of life in West Virginia. Here's Republican Senator
I could tell.
Mike Stewart, a former federal prosecutor who sided with the majority, using his parents as his reasoning to oppose the bill.
An idiot.
What does pulling your
Oh my God. Okay, let's skip this.
I'm one of those guys that I've got parents who 50 years later are still giddy teenagers.
We can tell.
Married at the age of 16 and
that's very obvious.
Yeah. This guy who's the luckiest guy
you were clearly raised by children when they had
in the
you.
world. I've got the greatest parents in the world. I can accept a number of 16. Right? My parents were married at 16. They are disgustingly in love.
80 years ago?
Yes, and they produced a very disgusting child. Exactly.
To this day, they can't keep their hands off each other.
Wow.
And
what?
So I would ask this body to consider a more reasonable figure of 16.
These people are so very stupid. They are deeply, deeply stupid. Yeah. You're the luckiest guy in the world because you...
They're insane. They're pedophilic, Ben. Yeah. I don't think he's going far enough with this.
Exist, and your parents happened to have been 16 when he was born, which was about 180 years ago. What's that got to do with what the law should be and the age should be? I was born a long time ago. My parents were 16. So I urge this body to not...
As soon as my parents came out of their wombs, they started going to town and making me. And now here I am, fucking 70 years later, about to propose. The fact that, 90-year-old people can get married to 16-year-olds. What do they have in common? It doesn't matter to the Republican-controlled legislatures. They're going to make this happen either way, people. And obviously, look, okay, maybe 30 years ago, an adult getting married to a 16-year-old, filling out all the forms, it wasn't that uncommon, okay?
Yeah.
But since then, in March of 2023, we've moved on as a society, okay? Obviously norms dictate that... Yeah, go ahead. Obviously,
okay, go ahead.
Norms dictate that... Look, subjectively, we just do not consider this a healthy relationship. Like, there's no way a grown-ass man could have very much in common at all with a 16-year-old on any substantive level. Like, okay, imagine meeting a 16-year-old and them not being family, or in very similar circumstances to you. Like, how would you even have a conversation with that person? I don't know, but... We gotta
change anything and never update nothing, and make sure that children are at risk everywhere of being.
Move the clock back in time. Yeah. Start introducing child labor so they can work in mines. Yeah. Okay. Here's a good point as to why we shouldn't let children work in mines or get married. As a matter of fact, just let children work in mines, and you'll see why why it's not good for children to work in mines. I mean, the exploitative labor conditions. Look, children should be like playing Fortnite or some shit, or like mining diamonds in Minecraft, or making a few stupid mistakes in their lives.
Yeah,
but working in a mine is not a stupid mistake. It's a result of evil people forcing them into those circumstances. Okay, what did you want to say? Sorry, I've been.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. The whole issue is with the Republicans, or the right wing, or the conservative movement. They are hypocrites. Hypocrisy is all over the place. They are. If they have some tapes you want to watch later. If they're against the LGBT community, they are into that thing. To call people groomers.
We got a few stories of that.
Yeah, to call people groomers and the children, we gotta protect the kids from sexual trafficking. This is sexual trafficking. West Virginia will become a haven for pedophilia. People are moving there just to get children, because not only is the age 16, but if you get a judge to approve it, it could go down to 15 or maybe 14. So what you are creating is what do you call it? A marriage. What do you call it when you go industry? Or when you visit? What do you call it? Tourism. A marriage tourism. Because people will come. They come to West Virginia. West Virginia are poor people. They take advantage of them. They go to Appalachia. Hey, you want 10,000? I want to marry your daughter. Then they it will be a haven for pedophilia. It will be a haven for these people who claim every day that they're protecting the kids. Because every time somebody is molested, or every time somebody's caught in an airport bathroom trying to have sex with gay sex, it's always a Republican or somebody who hates gays and is actually is part of that thing. So the Republicans are going backwards. I don't know if they want to relive a certain era, because socialists like Dr. Cornell said, bought you the weekend. They gave you the children labor laws because they expect kids to work like at 10, 9 years old. Now, like you say, you're going to put them in a mine. What, you want to give them black lung disease too? I mean, at that young age. So these states who are going backward from, instead of protecting their children, there are states that are last in everything in the union. They're last in education. They're last in health. They don't have no life expectancy. They don't have no education. They're last in economics. So to add an insult to injury, you're going to destroy. The only thing you got is your future. And your future is those children. You have to protect them until they mature and they become adults and able to make their own decision. Like I told you before, especially guys. We mature probably at 25, 26. I think so. Me, I was 30. I was still thinking I was 25, 23, 24, my prayer time. Anyway, I think what is that accusing the other side of wish you are guilty of? Yes, right. That's what they do.
It's all projection from them.
You saw the video with Lieutenant Governor from...
that's another that's another one. I mean, like, they just keep coming. I should have said this in the beginning of the stream when...
We just signed a law in Tennessee to ban what is it called? The reading was called I don't know, dress. What do you call that thing? When they do drag queen.
The drag queen story hour, where they just like get in costume and read the kids. Like, what the fuck?
The governor wore drag when he was young, and the lieutenant.
That's another one.
It's the same state. The lieutenant governor is having. He's 79 years old. That shows you how this person has been repressed all his life. Probably he was gay, but he was repressing it. And he was following this, who's a prostitute on.
Yeah, my big problem with that is I don't care that it's gay flirtation. Like you leave a comment on someone's Instagram, they're really feeling themselves, they're trying to be sexy, whatever. It's the fact that he's 79, and the model he's responding to is 20.
Yeah.
Now, if it's like some 18-year-old responds to a 20-year-old, I don't give a fuck.
And
he's signing laws. 80. He's pushing 80.
And he's signing laws, and it's part of this group that's trying to outlaw all the stuff, LGBT community rights, and they state. So it's all hypocrisy, man. I'm telling you, Jimmy Swaggart, he's so young. He used to be the head of the biggest church, all that. He had a prostitution issue. Ted Haggard, he used to be head of the churches of the Baptist. I don't know, 30. It was 30 million that he had gay sex. Ted Haggard, his name was. Jimmy Baker had to save out. He's having sex with his secretary. It is hypocrisy 101. The Republican Party is living this idea of, let's say if we turn back the clock into 57 years ago, we'll bring our kids back to work and have them work in mines. And, the good old days where women make food and we come home and she's like Matt Wall said, when I come home and I see my wife kicking, I feel that's the best thing she could do in the world. All right. So
this is, for context, this is the number of notable anti-gay activists that have, been discovered doing gay stuff. And I know the website's inactive because not only has the Republican lieutenant governor, supported this anti-gay, anti-drag queen bill, and then been caught, liking and commenting on this gay model's photos. So the website's inactive, but okay. Far-right party co-founder wrote anti-LGBT amendment, caught him fleeing from gay fornication party,
Remember when they had they had this scandal where inside the Vatican they were having all these parties of sexual nature. I find it that the most people who are anti-extremists on certain people, who that guy is, the Quadrant, right? The Quadrant when nuclear the speaker, and he named
he outed everybody.
I've been outed. I'm blocked by this guy. What's his name? Elijah Schaefer.
Yeah,
I've been teasing him for a whole year. I'm like, I keep on writing, live your truth, Elijah, and he blocked me. Because, he had just a lore about him, the way he talks. You could tell, I don't want to sound like I'm fucking, but I could tell he's gay. He has that. He doesn't have that. He puts his hand like that. He has that lore. He's more feminist the way he talks. You understand what I'm trying to say? So and I used to watch it, and he's so harsh, and he started naming Bibles. He called Arabs donkeys and all this stuff. That's why I found out about him. I did a video on him. I'm like, yo, Elijah, live your truth, man.
Republican.
When you frauds, get out of the fucking closet and stop bothering other people what they do. What the people do in their bedroom is their damn business. We live in a free society. As long as they don't bother you, or prevent or the hurdle or in your freedom to move or go, then let them live, man. I don't care. When that door's closed, I don't give a hell what happens when that door's closed. Anyway, and I don't know what this. There's a war between on the LGBT community. That fucking guy, what's his name? Meatball Mike Knowles.
Yeah.
You have to eradicate them. What kind of language is that? He gets upset. Oh, you call me the M word? Yeah, I called you the M word. Yeah. As if it's a slur that you eat meatball. Okay, call me. I eat lamb. Call me lamb chop. I don't care. Yeah, buddy, put that video on.
Yeah, we need to finish that.
And sold off into marriages because I'm here, everybody. How exciting.
It's funny, man.
Interestingly, the bill was resurrected by the state Senate today, despite...
Yeah, you were clearly the product of two children who, were born yesterday. I can tell.
Failing in committee. It will be up for a final reading today, and the Senate will have the right to amend the bill, but that does not mean it's going to pass. Several senators gave impassioned speeches after the bill was brought back, some of whom defended the right of teenagers in love to marry. If there was ever a state that needed this bill to pass, it's West Virginia. It is a backwards, strange place.
Also, child marriage is good.
Although recent figures are unavailable, according to the Pew Research Center, West Virginia had the highest rate of child marriages among the states in 2014, when the state's 5-year average was 7.1 marriages for every 1,000 children ages 15 to 17.
Shame.
But make no mistake, it's not just there. Republicans everywhere seem to be proponents of child marriage. A proposal in Wyoming,
Of course they are.
for example, would have raised the minimum age to 16, raised it to 16 with parental consent, sparking outrage from the state's
What was
Republicans.
the age?
The Wyoming Republican Party circulated an email that included an argument
This is from the Democrats.
from lobbyists that
But I don't know what the age was.
since minors can get
they're gonna raise
pregnant,
it
marriage
16.
must
I mean, it
remain
was like
open
14, 13, or 15.
to them for the sake of those children. Wow, sometimes 9-year-olds can get pregnant. Should that be the marriage age? What kind of an insane argument?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get stuck in bad choices, bad situations, things out of their control.
Yeah.
They should be allowed now also to marry. And also, they're forced to have that baby in many parts in the country now. And so we may as well.
Yeah, I remember that 10-year-old girl that got him pregnant. They say, made up story. And they caught the guy.
The abortion, right? She's raped. Yeah.
Yeah. So she had to travel, across state lines. So
Also, ruin more parts of their lives? That's the argument? Bonkers.
yeah, they're forcing these 9-year-olds to have children and obviously get married and be spousally raped. So the great GOP trifecta at it again.
The Bush guy.
Oh, come on, y'all. TYT, what are you doing, man? Yeah.
All right, so a number of things here. Number one, obvious hypocrisy. It's what Ben
so
started
funny
with.
if the people got next to them.
Rumors. Oh, you want to let 15-year-old girls get married to adult men? Yeah. I mean, like literally. So Republicans are arguing, let's let kids get married. I mean, look, there's no limitations in 8 different states. No limitations at all. You can marry girls as young as you want. Yeah. And so they say that's not pedophilia.
I didn't know that.
Actual pedophilia is not pedophilia.
Yeah.
Democrats being Democrats is pedophilia.
Yeah, and showing people rainbows.
Yeah.
Let us marry the children.
If an old white male judge signs off on it, Jink, I don't see the issue.
It's so true because, the way that this ancient guy was like, my parents were 16. It's like, no, if you pass this law, it's not just 16-year-olds that can marry each other. It's 40-year-olds that can marry 16-year-olds.
Yeah,
there's no age limit.
There's
There's no maximum
limit.
limit.
A 40-year-old should not legally be allowed to marry a 16-year-old, even with the parents' consent. The parents' consent thing is also ridiculous.
If you don't pass the law.
16 is like, Mom, I want a new phone. And also,
Yeah, like what would happen if, an entire state of people said, 13 should be the age of consent. Okay, I don't care what the parents think. I'd put CPS and all up in that state, and just try to influence the legislature a bit. I mean, Jesus Christ!
She got married.
Like this is like Matt Walsh rhetoric saying, the age of consent is a feminist construct that should completely be nullified by all legislatures across America and the world. Yeah, so-called groomers. Yeah, right. And the leftists are the groomers, apparently.
My grandma was 15 when she got married in rural South Korea and was illiterate. And trust me, she didn't want that life.
If an old white male judge signs off on it.
Okay, that was like a million years
like a century or two ago.
In the 1930s, she got married. Like this guy.
The life expectancy was different. Like the average age was 45, 40 years old. So if you reach 15, that means that's half your life right now. That means you're 40 in that time. You understand? There was this hurriness.
That was the days tuberculosis was killing everybody, and so was Spanish flu.
Yeah. So if you look at when I responded to Hunter Avalon, I was looking at the marriage laws. This is in 1890. That's not a long time. The 30 states, it was 10 years old. Fucking Delaware said, hold my beer. In 1871 said, listen, 10 is too much. Let's go back to 7. So this weird, it's crazy. So the Republicans need, man. I don't know what's going on with these people. They're doing everything the opposite of normal. If it's normal, the Democrats.
They've lost it, man. Yeah. They've lost it.
Yeah.
Listen to the stories because I think these people are in like their 40s or 50s.
My grandmother. You guys are going with this. I have my grandmother, so I'll be like this guy. Well, my grandmother, I think it was in the 1930s that she got married in southeastern Turkey. She was 17.
The Ottomans had just collapsed. So,
That's why we should let them marry kids. What? Okay, that was like a million years ago. in a remote area of rural Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
My grandma was 16. It was in China, and the life expectancy then was 18. I mean, it's a different world.
It's a different world.
My grandma was 15 when she got married in rural South Korea and like was illiterate. And
Yeah, rural desert Turkey, rural pastoral agrarian Korea, agrarian China. Yeah, like this is ages ago, okay?
I was reading to this free in what is that? In the 3rd century, 4th century in Europe, it was 5 to 7 years old. It's fucking crazy shit. It was. I mean, people were fucking nuts, man. At that, I'm saying, go look at it, man, because I did a deep dive into it. But I need to respond because about Islam to what's that name? He don't want to debate with me. What's his name? Evan, whatever, Hunter Evan, Avalon. So the whole idea is, okay, we live right now. This is the 21st century, right? This is how it works, right? If it's 2020, then the 21st. We should know better. We know that children should not have children. We should know that the relationship between a wide range of age, it's very hard at the end. Go ahead, let me see this.
Yeah.
And the fact that Helen exists doesn't mean she believes this is a great idea.
no.
Yes, and by the way, my grandmother hated it too.
Yeah.
There's still that's why I'd like to marry your 15-year-old.
You can't make a mature, informed decision at that age. You just can't.
Because we want to see, do the Republicans mean it or don't they mean it? We're asking Speaker McCarthy
so
to introduce.
I put this on my Twitter. I linked it, and I mentioned McCarthy. Do you really think they'll support legislation that raises the legal age of marriage?
Hey, Matt Jensen have a heart attack. Like, what? Don't do that.
What? Come on. Well, I mean, we need to impregnate these kids as soon as possible and force them to have those babies because we need soldiers.
Yeah.
We want live babies so they can grow up to be dead soldiers, okay? Guys, the cruelty is the point, okay?
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So that's that segment over with. I'm seeing if I have any more YouTube links here.
Yeah.
No. So
you don't have anything? You want me to get something up?
I really want to watch these in video form. Look, I have tons of article links, but I want to watch this in video form. Let's Elon Musk Company Town.
Okay, let's go. This is the next segment, right? The third, so we'll be able to break it down when we go break down the videos, so we know. I just drop my mouse and drop everything, so I can't do anything. I'm a hot seat today.
Yeah, let's. I'm trying to find it. Oh fuck. Okay, if I can't find it within the next 30 seconds, we'll just do the article. So Elon Musk.
What's the video you're looking for?
Stuff on Elon Musk's company town. All I'm getting is the disabled employees incident. But
he's an idiot.
I'm just gonna pull this up and we'll go from there.
I have 343 stocks. I sold them. From. It's just the guy's not fucking stable, and I didn't lose, but I lost some profit, 12,000 from profit, but I didn't lose. I made money on Tesla because it went down to $107.
He doesn't care about the retail investors.
I know, but he's injecting himself in social issue that he doesn't need to.
Yeah. So I guess I need to take a quick bathroom break. So I guess just give your opinion. We'll read
hold on.
Let
me get the mouse. I'll drop everything, man. Second. Take a break. Here we go. All right. Taking a break until the man comes back. Or free, I guess, comes back, right? See how I look. Oh, the mic. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. All right. Today we're having a good show. We're feeling good. Me and Free. So I'm waiting for him. I think he has something on. Idiot. What's his name? Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is fucking injecting himself in too many shit that he doesn't need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, there's January 6th video. You don't need to, man. You have these companies that you own are public companies. And when you involve yourself in the culture wars and this and this stuff, you become toxic, your product become toxic, and people just start to lose interest in your product. I swear to God, I sold my stocks from Tesla. You back?
Yeah. I haven't been drinking much water lately, but still, it's been going. I don't know.
Stay hydrated. What I'm saying is that okay, we back, right? You fixed it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
what's the answer?
What do you get for the billionaire who has everything? Perhaps his own town. Entities connected to Elon Musk and his companies have reportedly been acquiring thousands of acres of land in Texas, of course, with the hope of starting a town where his employees could live and work, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal Thursday. These entities have purchased at least 3,500 acres near Austin and are in the process of working toward incorporating a town called Snailbrook. An apparent reference to the mascot of Musk's tunneling firm, the Boring Company, according to the Journal. The report cites county deeds and other land records, as well as city and county emails, internal company communications, state licensing records, and interviews with landowners and city and county officials. So obviously, capital, it's way up your ass. It gets everything it wants, and it does everything it wants, and we're absolutely at its mercy. Unless we organize and we vote and we strike and we do all the leftist action, okay? Over the years, tech companies have offered numerous amenities on campus to recruit workers and sometimes incentivize them to put in longer hours. By building out a company of his own, Musk could take that approach even further. According to the report, Musk wants employees at his companies, Boring Company, Tesla, and SpaceX, all of which have major production facilities near Austin, to be able to live in new homes with below-market rents. The Snailbrook effort also reportedly includes plans to build more than 100 homes, as well as neighborhood features such as a pool and outdoor sports area. Incorporating a town might also give Musk, who has been known to clash with state and federal regulators, because of course he does, more say over how things are run. Oh god. Okay, one more sentence. Musk in 2020 announced he would move Tesla's headquarters and his personal residence from California to Texas, blaming frustrations with California's coronavirus-related restrictions. So,
what could go wrong?
Did you want to?
What could go wrong? You have your own village. You're narcissistic. You're a fucking idiot. Every day you prove to us you're fucking not that intellectual person we thought you are. Intelligence. Every day I lose respect for Elon Musk. Every single day. When I see him respond to the Shaimon, the free Shaimon, whatever that guy's name with the horns. Why are you injecting yourself in social issues that you don't need to? You're a man who owns a fucking public companies. Once you become toxic and you start taking sides and become tribal in a tribal society, then you're going to lose customers. And all your customers are fucking left-wingers and tree huggers who love these, I'm sure not texting. Well, I'm going to buy me today an electric car. He could go buy a fucking F-150 truck. He wants to hear that sound. You understand? So the whole idea is, I think this guy is scary. I think he's an idiot. I think he's stupid. And now he holds, like you said, this town is narcissistic to build their own town. I don't know if you saw a movie or something, Shitty Bang Bang movie, that it was called. And for him to try to build your own town, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, it's narcissistic behavior. And I think he's scary right now to me. I don't fear. I mean, now you own this platform and you're using it to add gas to the fuel where, you understand, we already have social problems. For you to add your 2 cents into this situation, and you have 125 million followers now since you bought Twitter, it is that you're taking sides, and you don't need to take sides, and there should be no sides. You should be cooling shit down, man. You should be responsible. Now, what does that mean? What does that town mean? What are you gonna have, like 500 people live, 1,000, 2,000? What do you want to mean?
Yeah, of his biggest sycophants. To suck his ass 24/7.
You're smart. I don't think he's that smart. I think he just.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Remember I told you when I opened my first business and I met certain people and I become successful? Not because I was smart, but I happened to meet certain people at a certain time, and these opportunities presented themselves without me going for it. You understand? It was just, hey, I take it. And that's what happened, because once he saw PayPal, he went and bought Tesla. Tesla was already a company before he bought it. Now he got that good company. Rocket X, I think, is going to be. If he doesn't shut the fuck up, he's going to be the first trillionaire, I think, in the United States or in the world. He's heading there. Because if you put that Rocket X as a public company, you know how much money he'll make for people to, what do you call it? What do you call it?
Space tourism?
Space tourism. Especially when it becomes cheap, like within 5,000, within reach, become mainstream. Because they start expensive, 80,000, 1 million, 20 million to go to space. Once they make it cheaper, you put like 30, 40 people in a fucking tube, and you start at $5,000. A lot of people will go for it. Yeah, but I wish he'd just stay out of it. I don't have respect for him because one thing, I know it's gonna sound weird. He goes after men's wives, like Johnny Depp, like the other guy from Google.
Yeah, it's so
that's
freaking weird, man.
Nasty behavior, man. When you try to break people's home, man. When you try to break people's marriages, man. You ever see that movie, Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
With that guy in the basement. Remember when they had him tied up with the ball in his mouth? Remember when the fucking Yahoo guy?
Yeah. And the redneck. Are you talking about the scene where the rednecks raped him in the ass?
Yeah. They need somebody got to catch a Muslim in their home. If they catch it, if I was to catch him and it was my home, I'll do the same thing to him. I'll tie him up in the basement and just work at him for a couple of days until he's full, nice, and fucking old, and I let him go. You understand? Let him know that he needs that. He needs it. He needs it. He's walking to that Johnny Depp. Remember when he saw the trial? He's going in the elevator like nothing is happening. He's going to this.
He just needs to be told no. No, Elon. Screw off. You're a loser, Elon. You're a loser, Elon. You lost. You're a loser, Elon.
Yeah, at that age, I mean, okay, I can see if you're 20, 25 years old, you're not making this, because when you're that age, your dick is making all the decisions. Oh, I love you. When I was 18, I was 16, I fell in love the first time when I was 16. I thought that was it. That's it. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't sleep no more. It was like I was fucking on heroin. I don't know if you don't have your first love yet. I got mine when I was 16. I got hurt. I never loved anybody like that anymore. But this is what it's all about. I mean, I said when you're young, you make dumb decisions. But at his age, he's like 55 or 54. You don't do that. You're a man. You are held to a high standard because you are part of the society of the elites in our society of the first billionaire in the world. I mean, not the first, the only billionaire. I mean, the number one billionaire in the world. You have all that money. Shut the fuck up, man. I don't need to see you on Twitter. All that Twitter. Remember those Twitter released? What the fuck was? What was the idea of that? Oh, look at that. We're gonna put the Twitter.
If anything, that proved Trump was intermingling free speech and social media.
He's saying that Jack Dorsey had nothing to do with it. If there's anything wrong, Jack Dorsey was the guy who owned. Who was the CEO of Twitter? Why are you gonna say, he was involved because he's your friend, but you blame all the fucking the workers, the soldiers, the foot soldiers inside on Twitter who are following the rules and regulation? Why didn't you put what's his name? Dorsey? What's his name? Dorsey used to
Jack Dorsey. Yeah.
Why didn't you put him on blast? No, they tried with Matt Taibbi is right. They saw how embarrassed look in front of Congress. That fucking piece of shit. He lost all his prestige, all his credential for money, man. Anyway, go ahead, man. I just went on. I think this man is a fucking idiot. Elon Musk is dangerous, man. What he's doing is dangerous. I mean, we live in a time you have a Fox News station fucking adding fuel to the fire. You have him. You have people don't want to talk to each other. I'm blocked by people on Twitter that I fucking Bob Noor. What's it, Rob Noor? He blocked me.
Yeah. Like it seems like if you have a lot of followers and you make just a little bit of noise, they block you.
Yeah, he's like a snowflake. I mean, you know why he blocked me?
God, I really want to debate Rob Noor. Why did he block you?
He doesn't have anything. He has get that thing out of there so we could look at each other's faces. He doesn't have anything. What Rob Noor has is whataboutism. Oh, remember when the FBI did Waco? Remember Ruby Ridge? Listen, that was 40 years old. If you're saying that the FBI corrupt in Waco, that means 40 or 30 years. That means they all 70.
He wants to defund the FBI?
No, they all died already, those people. So how could they be corrupt? And he wants me to say that the FBI is corrupt. And he got mad. I said, listen, Rob, you're dealing with whataboutism. You're not debating anything real. I want you to talk to me about the present time. I want you to give me proof that the whole FBI is corrupt. That 40,000. The only reason they're doing that is there's a movement to discredit the FBI because they know the FBI stand between them and they're fucking going crazy in the country.
Yeah.
They know the FBI will dismantle all these dumb movements they have, all this crazy shit they build. Oh, we gotta have our own country.
Yeah, they just want Democrats in prison for being Democrats.
It was the opposite. In the old days, the left used to hate the FBI and were afraid of the FBI, and the right used to love the FBI.
Hey,
it's like
guilty as charged. I still don't like the
trust
FBI.
Me, the reason that campaign is against the FBI, call them corrupt, it is an idea to discredit them. Like we know when Trump was discrediting the press, fake news, and people, his followers, the whole idea they know that the FBI stands between them and the institution. It's the only institution that really will dismantle them, like they did the what's it called, the Black Panthers, the other movements, the left roots movement. They infiltrated them. They had them kill each other. They had these inner wars, and the FBI was involved in all this stuff. And that's what it's all about. That's why he got upset, and he just blocked him. What a fucking snowflake.
Yeah, I really want to debate that guy really bad. Anyway, so back to the discussion.
You gotta say, remember that time? Let's shut the fuck up.
What about this time? Leftists, guys, sisters, cousins, half brothers, nieces, nephews, apartment roommate did this one thing that vaguely sounds corrupt. And okay. They screwed up that time. All right.
Yeah.
We got to get to this discussion of company towns.
Good.
Because they're rolling the clock centuries back. Now we, as leftists and liberals, have to remind people, hey, this historical thing, that was bad. Child marriage, child labor, and children working in company towns. It didn't turn out great before. No, it's not going to turn out great again, man. Okay? Yeah. So here we go. In remote locations such as railroad construction sites, lumber camps, turpentine camps, or coal mines, jobs often existed far from established towns, i.e., rural Texas. As a pragmatic solution, the employers sometimes developed a company town where an individual company owned all the buildings and businesses. Now, for the record, tons of companies already in the U.S. have things that are called campuses, which is their property. They have security on it. They oversee it. Some people live there, but illegally, they have very little binding to control people, and that's very heavily regulated. Yeah. This is not a campus, people. This is a full-on company town, and obviously, the ruby red Texas legislature is just gonna let him get away with this. In some situations, company towns developed out of a paternalistic effort to create a utopian workers' village. Churches, schools, libraries, and other amenities were constructed in order to encourage healthy communities and productive workers. Saloons or other services believed to be negative influences were prohibited because, back then, the religious people were really puritanical. They didn't want these hoe houses. They didn't want, people getting drunk. So, in other cases, the company's motivations were less ideal. The remoteness and lack of transportation prevented workers from leaving. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yep. Red flag. Yeah. Red flag. It's very dangerous. So, without external competition, housing costs and groceries in company towns could become exorbitant. The workers built up large debts that they were required to pay off before leaving. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Wait, where are you going? Where are you going? What? Some guy ran off. He's so scared of the company town that he just ended up running off. Wait,
is it called?
Wait, where are y'all going? Guys, I mean, at least we can hear it out. Hey, your children can bring in money too. They can work around the clock, man.
It's fucking weird, man.
Oh, well, forget the dystopian novels. Forget all this sci-fi crap. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody tells you we're going to hell, just say we're already here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is really bad. I'm gonna finish up this paragraph.
Okay.
And then move on to another article, which won't take that long. Yeah. Company towns often house laborers in fenced-in or guarded areas with the excuse that they were protecting laborers from unscrupulous traveling salesmen. People. Okay, come on, guys. So, in the South, free laborers and convict laborers were often housed in the same space. Free laborers and convict laborers were often housed in the same spaces. Imagine just getting a guy, working class guy, who's done nothing wrong all his life, and convict laborers housed in the same spaces. It is literally, and often what leads to crime is poverty. It is literally the crime of being poor in a company town. Okay? Guys. Come on. I mean, it cannot get any worse than this. You know what I say to this? Get this the hell out of American political discourse. I do not want these absolutely absurd suggestions. They are from a bygone era, and they are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And if you want more proof, okay, I'm going to screen share this. All right. So the controversial history of America's company towns.
You can tell that what's his name? That he's narcissistic. He remember when he demanded loyalty when he went to Twitter. The same thing Donald Trump when he went to the White House. He asked the FBI, "I want loyalty." They have the same mindset. Narcissists is like that. That's how they are. They function. They they think that they should be in control of everything. That everything should be them. He's going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The cycle repeats itself, man. The cycle repeats itself. Here's an even worst case. So even in cases where companies may have the workers' best interests at heart, company towns ultimately led to a lack of personal freedom. If churches are selected for residents at the company's whim, that means that other denominations and entire religions are left out in the cold. Choices, whether bad or good, are taken in the resident's hand. Recreation is dictated by companies. Wait, what? Okay, now they're sounding the nuke alarm because they're so worried about the company towns. But hey, let Bubsy billionaire moneybags McRich III just explain away his own fucking fever dream. Okay, recreation is dictated by companies, and anything that may be perceived as uncouth or immoral is no longer an option. So obviously, Elon Musk's been repeatedly retweeting these, white nationalist Nazi types who have very strict puritanical social views. Okay, because that's just how it is with social conservatives. All right.
Yeah.
So you are literally being dictated. Okay. In the case of less well-intentioned towns, matters only got worse. In some locations, companies would compensate workers with a scrip, a monetary substitute that was valid only at stores owned by that same company. I mean, as there were no competitors for these. Yeah, that's good. Give it up. Give it up, people. Yeah. Give it up. As there were no competitors for these monopolistic stores. Building services, the price was fully at the discretion of the owner. Housing costs, groceries, and other necessities then became exorbitantly priced. I mean, I mean, this is just, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, they're so brazen. I just gotta give it to them. History is full of the most wild people. Yeah. You gotta. I mean, holy shit. Mustache twirlingly evil is not even, an adequate way to describe this. But there's more, people. There's more. So since the company that owned the town knew that all the residents had steady, stable, reliable jobs, some of them allowed shoppers who were financially strapped simply charged goods and services to a tab as needed. Of course, this meant that workers quickly racked up large debts they were obligated to settle before they ever even thought about leaving the town. As for the actual living conditions in such towns, they were far from idyllic neighborhoods. many might have aspired to. Houses were built as close together as physically possible, so as to allow the greatest number of workers to reside there. Besides lacking privacy and being shabbily built, one could only hope a home in the neighborhood didn't fall victim to a fire, or else the whole lot would go up in flames. Beyond that, the company towns were also typically surrounded by fences or guards. It's pretty scary. I know. This was allegedly for the workers' protection. Oh, yeah, right. But in areas throughout the South, the truth was rather transparent. As free laborers and convict laborers were housed in the same areas, both groups fell victim to equally abhorrent treatment. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously they died out. They're a historical relic. But oh my God, this is just disappointing. What did society come to, man? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We're really going down it. We're really going down it, man.
On the drain. That's how you're going. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So I got another one. All right, Elon Musk company town woke poll. This is a quick one. So here we are. All right. This is actually a very, very interesting one.
Yeah.
Majority of Americans think being woke is good. Is a good thing, according to this poll. Yep. I mean, you gotta give it up to American. You really gotta give it to him. Like, I didn't expect them to be this way, but this is pretty fantastic. So, Republicans are casting being woke as a bad thing, but a majority of Americans don't see it that way, according to a new poll. An USA Today / Ipsos poll asked respondents to choose between two definitions of the term. 56% chose to be informed, educated on, and aware of social justice. That includes not only 3/4 of Democrats, but also more than a third of Republicans. 39% opted for the negative definition, to be overtly politically correct and police others' words. 56% of Republicans chose that.
Yeah.
Respondents' age made a difference among those aged 50 to 40, of course. 48% chose the overt politically correct definition, only 33% those aged 18 through 34 did, and 37% of those aged 35 through 49. God, like, I mean, the younger generations are really doing it in. I think Gen Z might be the death of the Republican Party if they don't concede massive amounts of ground. However, respondents were divided on whether being called woke was a compliment or an insult. Overall, 40% considered it an insult, 32% a compliment, 60% of Republicans and 42% of independents thought it was an insult. Wow. In contrast, 46% of Democrats deemed it an accomplishment. Younger respondents were more likely than older ones to see it as a compliment. So, Fox News, this rhetoric, it's not working. It's not working.
Yeah.
The more these moral Puritans tell people to hate something, the more they actually end up liking it. And that's really astonishing. That's really astonishing.
Fox News, all this shit, they're more dangerous than I don't know. That fucking old man, he want to die. What's his name? Robert Murdoch? He's like a dinosaur. You know, I think he doesn't want to die until the United States collapses. Then he'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that was a pretty short one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get videos, Brian.
Why you don't have no videos? You want to go? I have some video if you want to see.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to. Hold on. Okay. All right. This is about the LGBT community, right? So we're gonna talk about it. About people who attack the LGBT community, and they're a bunch of fucking assholes. Like, what's his name? Meatball, like the Daily Wire. Daily Wire.
Michael No Less. And Matt Walsh up. See what I did there?
Is making their money off that. Every single one of their what do you call it? Their anchor or whatever. The people who work for them or the YouTubers always have a segment on LBGT. Every day they have to hit that area to make sure they give some red meat to their followers.
But hey, Omar, you know what that is at the end of the day? Just
of course it is. Of course. Oh, it is. What do you think? You think what's his name? Fuck it. What's his name? Ben Shapiro cares about anybody. He really cares about himself because he gets money. He doesn't. I think he doesn't even make money. This is the 81st. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
This is so. I was so upset. You know, I mean, at the language he's using. He's saying that it's about transgenderism. I said it's not an ideology. It's not a fucking philosophy. It's the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going crazy. Like my reaction when I first heard that, I saw the short clip, not the whole video, but you know, my first reaction was, yeah, like what are they doing, man? They're going crazy, and I'm terrified. At some point,
this language by Meatballs Michael is a fucking fascist conversation. It is dangerous. It's gonna put these people in danger because people are not gonna understand what they mean by eradicate. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They don't know what that means. He said when I called the Meatball, he responded. All his fans started attacking me on my feed. And I told him, listen, the issue here, transgenderism. I said, oh, he's not attacking the transgender. He talking about transgenderism, the ism of it. I said, there is no ism of it. It's not about. It's not a fucking philosophy or a religion or an ideology, or they're trying to spread. These are certain people. I didn't understand. I'll be honest with you. I didn't understand the transgender. Before 2015, I didn't even know what that is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Then I started looking into it. I don't have to agree with it 100%. Whatever they do. But we live in a free society. That free society affords them that right to be protected by our laws and our government from people who want to do them harm. I don't feel threatened by them. I would disagree with you probably on something. I just don't like that school issue. I don't think school should be exposed to anything but education at the end of the day. Let them make their own decision once they get out of school. Maybe if they're in high school, you can start talking things about that. But you should not go. That's why the right is winning on that message. Oh, the children. Even look what they do in West Virginia. They want to get them married at fucking 14, 13 years old. But still they use that, and I think we should use that as Democrats. Leave it and all that. Go ahead, man. What you got, man?
Yeah.
You all right? What's the matter? You look tired already, right? You call
no. You got this video?
Well, I got this video. I had it on, and I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you got content, you know, you should play it. Oh wait, I can't hear it.
You can't hear it at all?
No.
Nope. It is low. Oh, you can hear. Maybe I didn't put it right. Wait. Let me see. Because sometimes. Oh wait. Let me stop. Because sometimes you hear me.
Yep.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to put the audio on when you share it. Let me try one more time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me. Oh, it is on. Okay. Okay. Windows, right?
Yep.
All right. Windows. Oh, Chrome. Is that Chrome or Windows? Oh, okay. I got it.
Chrome.
Chrome. Yeah. Okay. Let me start it all over. Got it. Okay. All right. Now I know it's good. Okay. Wait. Hold on.
If it's false.
Okay, let's do it again. You hear it?
Indulge it.
Yep. Let me give it from the beginning.
There can be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism.
God, that is one ugly tie.
If transgenderism is true, if men really can become women, then it's true for of all ages. If transgenderism is false,
what?
It is. If men
no, it's not.
Women as they cannot.
So
nope, wrong. Nope.
It's false.
Okay,
then we should not indulge it.
Nobody's asking you.
Since that requires taking away the rights and customs of so many people.
Wait, pause it. Okay. So, how does somebody else transitioning affect you in literally any way whatsoever? I mean, okay, regularly, when we see people who look a certain way, you know, look male, look female, okay, whatever, we just say she, he. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, when we're talking in second person, you, which is what I'm constantly doing. Like, Omar, I actually don't refer to a lot of people in my daily life. I just like talk with people. I'd say you, and that's how my conversations typically sound. So, like, How are your rights being impeded on, Mr. No Less? Mr. No Less.
You can disagree, or you could not even like the transgender community, whatever, but you don't have the right to say they have to be eradicated or they have to be just wiped off the map because you seem to disagree with them. Let them live their life. I don't have any issue with that. You understand?
Yeah.
I had Melanie Scarlett with me. We did a couple of shows together, and I had to learn a lot. You know, I'm from a conservative culture. I'm free. I'm in a society, you know, and I'm affected by it. I told you how sometimes I go to a coffee shop and they talking about the stuff. Well, you know, they hate the Democrats, right? The Arabs, the Yemenis, and they Democrats. And like, why? He said, well, you saw what they're trying to do. Some guy would make up a story. They try to tell my daughter a man is not a man. I said, did they really say that? And I just said, who told you that? Because people say, you know, they go on hearsay, and they think it's true. But you know what I like about this guy? You saw Bill Maher, which I hate. He cleaned them out. He said he called it. He said in a couple of years we'll find out that he's sucking somebody's dick in the bathroom.
And we're finding it out every day.
Like
it's coming. Another gay Republican, another pedophile, calling people rumors.
He talked about Michael Knowles. He made fun of him in his final, final rules, what we called it. And he did a little small segment. He said he'll find him like maybe 5 years sucking some guy's dick in the bathroom. Oh, he's a transgender himself.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him specifically, Mr. No Less specifically. Yeah. We'll talk about what he's been caught doing.
To this confusion, transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely.
Eradicated? What the fuck?
What does that mean, Mr. No Less?
That's Nazi talk, man.
There can be no
that's Nazi conversation, man. That's not normal.
Like, if I had enough followers and he hadn't blocked me, I'd ask him, what do you mean by eradication?
He blocked you?
No, it's just that he, I don't have many followers, so he won't respond to me directly, probably.
Oh, no, I mean, he responded twice. Remember that time I sent you, I text you? He did it again, the day before yesterday. And when he did it, the whole day, my feed was full. People, you hate Italians, you hate that. I said, listen, I don't hate Italians. I lived in
Right. And these people will say it's infringing on the rights to call people the N-word.
Yeah, I said that Trump called Ron DeSantis, he's Italian mute boy. You guys didn't say nothing. Oh, you don't have to be racist. Trump is racist. I said, listen, I live in New York. It's true. Long Island, if you're Long Island, all their loans is Trump. All the Italian neighborhoods, Trump. Yeah, I don't know who sold this bill of goods that they fucking white supremacists. They're not. They don't even think about them. The whole idea, I said, they do vote for him. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for these neighborhoods, the House will be in the hands of the Democrats. You know, the seats that the Republican picked up were all in these Italian neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know. You understand? And some of them were Democratic strongholds. But I don't have anything against it. You know, I grew up in New York. Italian people are very fucking generous people, man. If you go to their house, they feed you to death. They love food. When you go to their like a Christmas or a holiday or a Thanksgiving, go. Man. I've been to a couple of them. And when you eat, the old lady, the woman, her name was Lily. She died already, God bless her soul. She's like, Omar, eat. And she's happy when she sees me eat up meatballs and all that spaghetti, all that stuff. They get happy because they're very generous people. I'm not saying anything about them.
Yeah, well, some Italians are not generous, okay? I mean, most Italians are. Some are.
They're racist.
Case in point.
The Fontes, the Knowles, all that shit, the old garbage, the Cusinelli, those people with Trump.
The DeSanctimoniouses of the world. God, I really fucking love that name. Ron DeSanctimonious. Oh, man. It's good.
Does it have a meaning? I don't know.
DeSanctimonious. I think it means like dishonest or slimy in some capacity. DeSanctimonious. Making a show of being morally superior to other people. Oh, yeah. Sanctimonious. Self-righteousness. I'm the virtuous guy. Yeah. This is no less.
That's him?
Yep.
You fucking son of a bitch. You
didn't hear about this?
I didn't know that, man. You know, what do you got that from the day?
From the serfs found this out, and they've also found another thing out. We'll get to that.
Get that later. I'm gonna send it to all the people who defended him this weekend in my feed. Almost 100 people. Oh, you can't say. I say he's beatball.
Here, look at him. He's raping children. He's raping children by putting on women's clothes, according to your logic. And according to my logic, who gives a fuck? It's just, you know, a guy in a wig, just as a woman. Like, yeah. But pedophile raping children by, showing them a rainbow flag. Like,
what you want, man? I'm so shocked right now that I'm seeing that he's in a dress. It's unbelievable. You just hit like you just hit me in the head or something. Nah, this is they're all into it, man. They're like those she-males, man. They look good. Some of them. I don't want to say that shit, man. But I mean, listen. They just hide in there like that guy. This guy, they're here. Hold on.
Look, it's a tampon ad playing under Michael Knowles dressed as a woman. It's a tampon ad. Okay. Anyway, Daily Wire's anti-trans, anti-drag crusader Michael Knowles photographed himself in dress, wig. Conservative pundit Michael Knowles was thrust into CPAC.
And he got dressed and fixed himself and took a picture of himself with nobody there just to see how good he looked and put it on a photo. And probably went out and fucking sucked somebody in some alleyway or some bathroom at a disco place. I don't think these people love that shit, man. I think the only religious freak is that Shapiro, that's probably real religious. You don't know, he might have some fucking closet shit.
He probably will. Yeah. It'll probably surface one time or another. Conservative pundit Michael Knowles was thrust into the spotlight when he called for transgenderism to be eradicated from public life in a CPAC speech. Alongside complaining about trans rights, Knowles has another conservative bugaboo, drag shows. But old photos of Knowles, unearthed by the Daily Dot, revealed he wore a dress on more than one occasion in 2016. Knowles, alongside his Daily Wire co-workers, has been on a crusade to villainize and demonize the trans community amid nationwide crackdowns on transgender rights. Hey, if you want to reply to all those people on Twitter, it's just in my tweets, it's in my feed, so just copy it from there.
I'm gonna paste and copy and just send it. This is me.
Yep.
What I'm saying here, that I find this correlation that is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these people who out of Yale, he went to Yale, fucking racist as fuck. Ted Cruz, I think Harvard, piece of shit. Josh Hawley, Yale, and Harvard.
It's only for white guys who can, pay them big bucks.
I'm saying, these people who came from the cream of the crop, from the best colleges and universities in the United States and the world, are fucking racist piece of shit. Netanyahu of Israel, he was in MIT. That's the people who like intelligent people in Massachusetts. So I'm saying I'm calling this the Ivy League club. When I see all these racist pieces of shit, I'm calling the Ivy because every single one of them is a racist. I love community college people, man. But, and this is what it is. Man. I didn't even see that picture, but it's fucking weird. It's a strange world. If you look at the new rules later on, if you got with Michael Moore, he spoke about him. He said, "You don't know this guy." He said he wanted to eradicate. I mean, he finally spoke. Mike, what's his name? Bill Maher has been doing like a small graduation, like I'm going to leave the left thing, like with Jimmy Dore.
Centrist grift.
Yeah, he's moving toward that because he's been audience captured by Joe Rogan's audience. But this week he said Michael Knowles will be in 5 years and they're gonna find in the bathroom sucking someone's thing, and probably speak in drags. Anyway, good.
He's also been outspoken about drag shows over the past several years, which goes hand in hand with the right's anti-trans rhetoric. Christian nationalism, marriage still means what it has always meant everywhere on Earth. Like, okay, no, it clearly means different things to different people on Earth. Like how in red states, it means children can get married as well, instead of just adults. Leftist globalism, drag shows for 2-year-olds and puberty blockers for preteens are a human right. Okay, wait, no. Okay, pretty much nobody encounters puberty before preteens, and even then, it's an infinitesimal amount. Anyway, which political order do you prefer? I prefer the political order in which we don't not only legalize child marriage, but legalize spousal rape as well. So we can, diddle children. Anyway.
Okay, before we go, I want to put a video before we go.
Here's just to show you him in drag. This is one freaking ugly drag queen.
Yeah. These are freaky. They have to be freaky. Everybody. I think this is human nature. You have cockhead, what's a cockhold, and you have these people. This is just before we go. This is the Lieutenant Governor of Mississippi. Let's watch this, man. It's so nice. Don't even speed it up.
Wait. Okay, so one more thing. Wait, relating to the field of drag queens, I just got this other tab.
I don't know how to get. Let me get this out of it. Hold on. Okay, got it. Okay.
Michael No Less, who repeatedly claims all drag performers are child rapists for, just like dressing up as a woman in front of a kid, also loves drag performers. They're say one thing and do the complete opposite.
Put the whole thing. That's him right there, right?
Yep.
Put it straight. No. Oh, he put it himself. He tried to get ahead of it, right? What he wrote?
Yep.
What he wrote? Oh, this is old. This is 2019.
Yeah, but it's okay. Groomers.
What do you wrote? I can't see.
A Star is Born. Lady Maga hashtag.
Yeah.
But he's buddying up with pedophiles. This is like Epstein and Trump, right?
Yeah.
By their own logic. Now, of course, I just think this drag queen is another chud moron. But hey, a child rapist.
Yeah.
And Michael Knowles, who are you buddying up with? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Say one thing and do the opposite.
Oh,
What is this? I mean, like what are you doing? Jesus Christ. Go ahead with the video of the Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah, we just want to watch it and just and feel good about it. How embarrassed he is. I love when they, when the media dismantled you, man. You're 7
Journalists hard at work.
Okay. No, is this screen sharing or is canceled? Okay. Let me do it again. I still had it from before. I said it again. I went to the door. There's a rap song. All right, here we go. Let me know if you hear sound, okay? You want to go through it?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. This is the Lieutenant Governor of...
There is a prostitute adding, I'm the one that gets paid for giving, then a reference to a sexual act.
You hear the sound?
And it was liked by Lieutenant Governor McNally.
Yeah. I don't know.
On his public account, on his political account. Like, most people have a personal and a political, but I don't have a personal. It's all like, the same thing. And
he's not even talking.
Chud morons, okay? You might see me liking, porn tweets from white women. Oh, God, dude. I'm not sounding like a Nazi here, but look, I love white women, okay? Now, there's not like a tier of women I like, but... dude, I love white women. Okay, so you'll see me liking porn tweets here and there, but I'm not anti-porn. I don't say one thing and do another. I say one thing and do that thing. Okay.
Growing up, it was hard to get a white girlfriend. They're little, I used to have to go out with Spanish and black girls. Okay, ready?
White women love me. White women adore me. Like I don't mean to sound like a douche.
Because you're white, but growing up, I'm telling you, it was very hard.
I know your experience is valid.
Yeah, no, it's racist. It's indirect racism. You understand?
Yeah.
Growing up, and I had more Spanish, Hispanic girlfriends, like Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. I had a lot of black girlfriends.
But that was like right after desegregation, right?
Desegregation? What are you talking about? I'm not that old.
Like, well, you're how old?
I'm talking about 1990.
Oh, not. Oh. Huh? Oh. They should have been squared that up by then.
I'm 42. I'm not that old. But the whole idea is, what are you making?
Oh, you're 42? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I tell you, like, growing up in New York.
Because you're retired. I'm thinking to myself, this guy's like got to be at least in his 60s. But you're wow. Okay.
No, I told you I got sick. I had a stroke. I had a stroke when I was 35. But I was very successful. Then when I became 35, I came home. But I'm living off my savings, and I get disability from the government. You understand? From the Social Security.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have no mortgage. I'm living life, man. Okay. My car's. I don't drive a lot. I have a car 10 years old. I don't even drive it. So I never leave the house.
Yeah.
I have to go to the doctor. Anyway, let's continue this.
Yeah, I mean, like, my point is, you and I will say one thing and do that thing. These guys will say one thing and do the exact opposite. Like, their own fetishes and kinks, they make a living, berating it. What is it with these people, man? Like,
the whole thing is, like, you showed me that the website before, people who got caught, they were saying one thing and doing another. These people are hypocrite. They're hypocrisy. That's why sometimes I have this thing against religious people who said that they stop talking or get involved in social issues, because you're fake and a phony. At the end of the day, you get busted, and it's very bad to the religion that you represent. Like Ted Haggard, you can look him up later. He was the head of the fucking 40 million people, and he had he was gay, and he finally caught up with him, and it's very hurtful and all that stuff. Let's just watch this before we go. You thought I'm in my 60s? You nuts?
You were retired.
Yeah, but how do I look? How do I look to you?
Hey, you look 40s. But I'm thinking to myself, hey, maybe this Arab guy probably aged well. I mean, he's retired.
No, I got sick when I was 35 years old. You know how bad it is to get sick in your prime. You understand? No.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm assuming things.
Yeah, 79, November 11, 1979. But so I was a teenager in the 90s. I mean, but I tell you what, I grew up in certain areas. I was bullied by a lot of Italian kids. White kids were very mean to me, and I was accepted by the minorities. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell it like it is. The blacks, they took me in, and the Hispanics, and I became one of them in the lunchroom, and I got some protection in high school with them, because they're very abusive. The Italian kids, they're very abusive and bullying, man. And so, okay.
Sudden uproar over his provocative social media interactions. Tennessee Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally sits down this afternoon to answer Phil Williams' questions about the controversy. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston. Carries off tonight. Now, those social media interactions with a young gay model brought accusations of hypocrisy against the East Tennessee Republican and counter charges that he's become the victim of a...
Mind you, they just signed a bill against the transgender community. He was on it. The governor was on it. Everybody's on it. And he's caught,
a left-wing attack. Well, our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams...
But he literally admitted to it. So how was it, a leftist attack?
Details with the man
I'm 39 years old, and I try to get a prostitute.
Evolving views on the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
Initially, I was not very kind to that community.
Oh, he was kind.
As I learned some things and met some people.
You still aren't kind, but you are kind on Instagram.
And they still have value.
In a legislative session dominated by bills outlawing drag shows in public places and targeting gender care for the trans community, Tennessee Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally finds himself facing accusations of hypocrisy after a progressive site unearthed his social media interactions with a 20-year-old gay model. Among them, provocative posts that were...
I don't like this guy. He's not attractive. I guess I like, the masculine constructs, the action heroes. I like The Rock, Can't think of any other good-looking guys, but that guy's like skinny, and he's 20, and that guy's 79.
Yeah, but you ever see those females, man? They look fucking crazy, man. They're like women with their breasts and all that shit. Fucking crazy, man. I think in the end, we're gonna be like Star Wars. You ever see Star Wars, the Next Generation? Deep Space Nine, when they used to meet at that bar, all the people from different universe, they got one has horns, one have this, one have hops. That's what we're gonna be at the end of the day. Anyway, I don't watch the whole thing on my butt is killing me from sitting down. All right, Free, we had a good time, did we?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I missed you a lot. Honestly, I missed you a lot, and I was kind of maybe
I missed you too.
Because maybe he's getting tired of me, giving him all that stuff. But I really do enjoy it. I think you're getting better and better. Your contact is getting better. I wish you'll do more. You should do a lot of 5-10 minutes.
I won't ever stop. I may take a lot of breaks, but I'll never stop.
Every day throw something. 3 minutes, just get in there. So you see Paul, you go bullshit, and just get it off, and that's it. Anyway, Goodbye. Until we meet next time. Thank you.
Yep.
Free. I'll see you. All right. We'll see you next week, guys.